All right, I'm on hole number 10 of the Safari Sunrise tournament in the opening round of the Ricky division, playing on my 77 account. This is my Ricky expert account, and playing against a bunch of other experts, and we're just going out there and trying to get her done. So my goal is minus 15 per side, and I got this done by getting the Albie on hole number 9. Missed the eagle chip. I literally had a chip in, had a dog emergency, and I made a bad wind adjustment and missed that eagle. But we want to try and pick up that eagle and then still try and pick something else up. So let's see what we can get done. Let me go look at the hole just briefly. I always like to look at the holes because inevitably what happens to me every time is I go, oh, no, I know what that hole is. And then I get out there and go, damn, that was it. I forgot all about that hole. So I always like to look at the holes first. Let's see if we can get just a little teeny bit better result than what I got on the front. I had a chip in on the front, but it was literally in a part of my club. It was like 3/4 rapier, and I'm not. And to be honest with you, most of the shots that I take with my rapier are either in max club, or you're doing the run up. You're right off the green and you're just running it up there. And that 3/4 club, when it gets to half, you're usually in the right spot. And at that point in the club, I really would normally do a wind adjustment with the rings as opposed to just kind of setting it off the cup. And I just blew the wind adjustment because I didn't know the numbers. All right, that's all I need. That's all I need. Here we roll. I'm doing a max overpower hook shot on the right-hand side. I'm taking the wind out, then I'm pushing the forward wind back in. At rest. I've got my ball guide at rest is like right on the transition between the second and the third cut of the rough. Maybe slightly in on the left-hand side. What's screwed up about it is, and I know that this sounds a little weird, but what's screwed up about it is that in my practice account, my odd account, I use it as a practice account for this account. And we have very similar clubs. There's a couple clubs in this account that I actually have that are higher level. And there's a couple clubs in my odd account that are actually higher level than in here. But through the Prism chest, I've gotten my Apocalypse to level 5. And it's actually, I couldn't pass it up. I mean, you can't pass it up and you get the Apocalypse in the store or in that Prism chest. But I kind of regret now having brought it to level 5 because it's hard for me to practice because it has more distance than this club right here. So it throws my shot off just a titch. I can't set it up exactly the same. I have to have 2 different setups. I'm going to do a full 3. I think that was my problem last time. The inside just a bit. 2-2. That's 1. And that leaves me 6. It's about a ring and a third. I'm going to push the forward moving wind back in. Max overpower hook. And I got all of it. There was nothing left on the table there. So if that doesn't make it, it ain't going to make it. And that's going right towards the sand. That was too much on the inside. I moved it in that just that little bit. All right. I know that there are a lot of different shots you can take on here that you can be a lot safer. But I like that shot. I could take the shot from the left-hand side and I can curl it, I could curl it up there and get over into my mid short iron every single time and have a super consistent look at it. You can lay it up at the top and do a rough bump and have a really good look at it. But I just like that max overpower hook shot. Into hole. Nice shot. That was about the distance that I missed mine from last time. Don't worry, dude. I think I feel real good about this. Real good. Real good. What kind of distance do I got here? There's... so I'm in the way down end. So I'm in the ring stuff. A little bit of backspin, which on a Spitfire is a ton of backspin. 5 from this distance. Oh, I'm getting a little laggy. Just a little laggy. It was starting to flash red, so I knew I didn't have enough time to let it go by as many times as I would have liked to. That has nothing to do with that shot. It's all about the drive. Some holes you got to take. That's the risk versus reward. So for me, everybody has to weigh this. That's that. Everybody has to judge for themselves the risk versus reward. This is a prime example. This hole right here: risk versus reward. If you got lower developed stuff and you risk going over here with a bigger power ball, you may end up in the rough or the sand. And if you don't have recovery clubs that'll get you up there, or if you fail up here in the front by trying to do this max overpower shot, then you're sunk. Like, not just like you can't recover, you're sunk. So when I weigh risk versus reward, if you're up here, the risk is big. If you can make it over to the other side, anywhere over here, and you fail, you're okay, even if you don't end up where you want to go. So I'm willing to take the risk when I go over there. Same thing on hole number 1. I weigh the risk versus reward. The reward is that you take a putt and you get an eagle. The risk is that you blow the shot like I did and you don't take a putt and you're in the sand. I'm going to take a present ball just because I have a few more of them. Okay. Now I got to take a berserker. Am I using the wind? I think I am. I'm gonna take the present ball. I've decided. I've made a decision. There's not that much to choose between them, but if you're using the wind, you have a little bit more wind at your disposal with a berserker. I haven't really been having a problem with the distance on the other side. I've actually overdrove it, and I've had my trajectory slightly off. So I've had my trajectory off twice, and I ended up once in the rough, once in the sand on the left, and then I've actually overdrove it twice. I'm going to go out into that area right there. I'm going to take some of that topspin off. 2, 3. Taking the wind out and then pushing the forward moving wind back in. Try and hit it perfect. Hit it 1 ring great to the right. An epic failed. Way back. So I'm saying if you have lower developed recovery clubs and you're in that spot right there, you're totally screwed. I mean, I'm still going to have a non-desirable shot to get in with a Nirvana that hits 135. So most of the rough irons are short irons. And so if you end up in a spot like that, you could be totally sunk even though you're over on the other side. My opponent is in the rough, and they're in even worse condition because they're even further back. And they brought a lower power ball. So like it's the worst of all the worlds. Let's see how much. Let's see if I have enough topspin that I can get over that sand. I can. Go right at it. It's 4.5. 1.3 times 4.5. 5.8. There's 4. There's 5. Somewhere in that neighborhood. Oh, anticipation on that. Damn it. Those present balls don't roll right either ways because they got that little bow on them. That's why those egg balls that were out. They're not round, man. I didn't like those balls just because of that. I mean, you know that the game's got it so that it rolls round, but when it rolls out, it just looks so funny because it's oblong rolling. It's just like, man, that's just not going to work. In the sand. Going from the rough to the sand. All right. Isn't it perfect? See how it rolls with the little bow on there? It just freaks me out when it does that. So risk versus reward. There's a risk when you're on that hole, but I know that I have recovery clubs if I can make it to the other side. So as long as I don't epic fail in the sand, and even if I epic failed in that sand trap, as long as I was in the front part of that front sand trap with my Spitfire, I still have a really good shot of getting on because it has so much topspin. But if you have lower developed clubs, you're much better off just laying up at the top and not taking that risk versus reward. It's like on hole number 1, I know that from anywhere out there that I epic fail, I can get on, and I still have a shot at it. Not a great shot, but I still have a shot. All right, nothing happening special. I'm gonna try this rough bump one more time, and if I just need to commit to not doing it, is what the deal is. I'm going to pick at this stuff, then I'm going to look at the hole. That's a 3 side spin. That would get me up there and get me going towards the hole. I know I'm doing a 10% wind adjustment. Times. I know I'm taking a sniper. Let's open up a chest. Get them rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Get them chests a rolling. Roll on. If you're a new player and you're watching these videos, they'll give you a really good understanding of why upper developed clubs, and really the big deal on upper developed clubs is, and I really like that rough bump. I think that's a great way to get a hole in one, but I'm going to go off to the side over here and I'm going to start playing this hole a little different. I'm going to play this hole from out here because I know that when we talk risk versus reward, this is a prime example. The reward is that you could get a hole in one, but the risk is that if you do not hit perfect, you are in big, big trouble. And I would rather still give myself a shot at hole in one, but have room to the left or the right to not hit a perfect shot. And I mean, I want to hit a perfect shot. Don't get me wrong. The problem is that I don't hit perfect all the time. And right now I am getting a lot of lag. I could probably make it better. I'm sitting out in my garage, so I'm on the other end of the house from where my stuff's at. But I'm just chilling. What I need to do is open up my garage door so I can get a breeze through the garage. I have no idea what to do here. So 2.3, 2.3, it's 2.53. And this is the problem. The last time we played this is just not, I was using a Guardian, I think, last time because there wasn't just not enough to get me up there. Do 253. I'm going to put a little teeny bit of curl on it. I'm going to rethink this. I may do the rear rough bump. I'll put just a little teeny bit of curl. Isn't it perfect? Right at it, but a little short, and that's as close as I could get and leave myself some separation. If I don't leave myself any separation on the rough, I'm doing the same damn thing as if I did the rough bump. And you're using so much backspin, if you catch the rough right there, you're going to stick in the rough. You're going to be in the rough. There's just no two ways around it. So I can come further back, but the way it is the further back you go, the more to the left you're going. And so your other option is that you can hit from back here, or you can hit from this back rough bump, and it's a wider area right here. So you've got more room to the left or the right. You need a club with topspin to get you over there, and you need a ball with side spin. And you're hitting more towards probably mid club. And one-on-one, when we were practicing, I landed on this hole a bunch of times with the Titan, and I was at minimum club. And I was doing that rear rough bump. And I was super close to the hole. It was just a matter of elevation. I wasn't doing any elevation adjustment. I was just taking a straight up shot just to see like what the rollout was and how it looked. And I may switch to that option because I like the front rough bump. I like it a lot, especially when you hit perfect. When you don't hit perfect, I don't like it at all. And from this distance, wind is not a factor. So right there, if they hit a great to the left, they're going to miss the hole. They hit a perfect or a great to the right, they're in the hole. But watch where it went in. It went in on that edge of the cup. When you're that close and you make those adjustments like that, if you go right at the flagpole, you could hit a 2-ring great to the left and a 2-ring great to the right and still make it in the hole. But they took everything on the left-hand side out of play. When you're that close, you want to go right at the flagpole. Sometimes when you're at distance, the only shot that'll go in is a perfect. You're just at that right distance, the only shot that'll go in is a perfect. And so if you move off to one side of the cup or the other, you can open up so that you can hit a perfect and a great to the right. Or a perfect and a great to the left. Yo, left. All right. Hole number 12 is in the bank. Hole number 13, here we roll. What's hole number 13? Hole number 13. I got about 15 more minutes, so I don't even know if I'm going to be able to finish this before I've got an appointment. I've got a phone thing I got to do. Hole number, okay, I got to get the eagle. I got to get the eagle. It's a power 5 ball all day long. So I may have to stop this video. I'll upload the front and then I'll combine the two balls. Power 5 ball. Come on. Come on. Giving me so much lag here. Come on. Power 5 ball. Taking a present. Taking my number 1 bag. So our clan may get, okay, think about the math. I'm not sure, and I'll have to look to see. Like if you're in a Masters 2 right now, if you're in a Masters 2, how many, like look in the C100 and what is the demotion zone? So like how many teams are in the demotion zone at the bottom? Is it the bottom 10 or the bottom 15 or the bottom 20? It's probably an even number. So it's probably like 10 or 20 or whatever. It may be an odd number, and then it may be the bottom 15. Let me play this, and then I'll remember to talk about it. Okay, so I'm in that spot. I'm going to take the wind out, which is 3-1. It's a ring and a half. I'm going to put the forward moving wind back in, all of it. And I'm going to do no overpower, but I'm going to do a little bit of curl. And I hit it great. So if you think, I don't know what the number is. I'll look as soon as this one's over. Oh, that's BS. So I'll just pick a number. Let's say it was 15. Well, if it's 15, then that means like if you're in Masters 2, how many people get promoted? So how many people in the Masters 2 get promoted into the C100? Is it the top 2, top 3? If it was an odd number, it'd be, so like if it was the bottom 15 in the C100 get booted, then it would be like the top 3 or the top 5. It'd be some, so like so you can figure out how many Masters 2 brackets there are based off of how many people in a Masters 2 bracket get promoted and how many people in the C100 get demoted. So we're on the verge, and it should be next month. We're on the verge of them coming out with Masters 3, and then they'll have all of the divisional brackets full. So like my clan is an expert 3, but the brackets have gotten easier because they're trying to fill slots. And so the brackets have gotten easier to get into the promotion zone. And so we're going to get promoted this month to Masters 1. And our Kings of Golf 2 clan is in the same exact bracket. Hitting it perfect. Come on. Get the distance to get to the freaking hole. You rat bastard. Son of a gun. So when they come out with Masters 3, and there's going to be a bunch of the expert 3 groups that are going to get promoted, especially ones like ours. Like we just play tournaments. We don't even grind. So just from tournament results, we're up in that deal. And I think once we make Masters 1, then we're never going to be less than Masters 1. I mean, at some point down the road, it's going to be, if more people are playing, it'll get a little tougher up at the top. If less people start playing, then there'll be less Masters 3 brackets. And so it may get a little tight, but going up to Masters is a big deal because we'll get 5 bags. So now the question is like, what the heck do you put in your 5 bags? It's this hole number 5. This is that par 3 in the middle. That was a bull BS. That's 2 BS shots. One that did a 360 and bounced out of the hole. It went in the hole, then did a 360 and bounced out of the hole. And that was a cheap shot right there. Cheap. Let me pick the stuff here real quick. I'm taking a grizzly and a katana. Yeah, I better buy some katanas. Taking a katana and grizzly. Let's see what the deal is. Let's see what it is so that I have the math right. I don't know that I can look at a master's class, but I can look at the C100. Like how many on the bottom of the C100 are gone? And it doesn't show. It doesn't show what the who's going to get booted. It doesn't tell you how many here. So I'm not sure how many get booted in this. But for a lot of you that have been in Expert 2 or Expert 1 or Expert 3 for a long time, everybody's going to be moving up over the next month or so because they're going to have to fill. It's going to weaken those brackets. They're going to fill more to get. Because what season are we in? What season are we in? We're in season 22. So season 23, season 24. So it may take them another month to fill up so that they can start a Masters 3. But it's either going to be at the end of this season or at the end of next season, and they're going to do it. And it's going to have taken them 2 years to fill up all of the divisional brackets. They started off, it was pretty much every month, they opened up a new one. They opened up Pro 2 and Pro 3 and Expert 1 and Expert 2. And then it started getting, when they got into the Expert, then it started getting like it was 2 months, and then it was 3 months. And we've been at where there's only been Masters 2 for quite a while now. It's been 3 or 4 months so that they can build up enough towards the top to be able to have people in that. But we're going to have 5 bags. And what do you do with 5 bags? if you had a big enough Thor's hammer, for me, it would be drivers. So you'd have an extra mile bag, you'd have a QB or a rock bag. If you've got an upper developed rock, a level 8 rock, then it would definitely be a rock. If it wasn't level 8, it'd be a QB, and you might have a QB and a rock bag. A big topper bag for sure. For me, a big topper and one-on-one play is a very, very awesome club. Okay, what hole is this? Hole number 5. I'm doing a 12.5%. Let's times 4. It's 4.5 rings. Let's make sure I'm going right at the cup. A little short, and it bleeds out a little more, so it's 4.5 rings. Let's see if I can swirl the cup again. Isn't it great to the right? Because I was damn near, I think I was out of time. I can't believe that I was able to get that shot out. I glanced up and saw that it was a 2. And I dropped one shot. I didn't pick up 1 and I didn't pick up 4, and 4 killed me. That should have been in the hole. That's all right. It's all right. But those are the 2 holes right there that put me at the minus 15, and I haven't picked anything up. So I got to step it up in these last 3 holes. And these last 3 holes, well, we have to pick up 8, so there's no picking up anything there. So that means I have to pick up 7, and I have to pick up 9, or 16 and 18 respectively. Oh, we got that big par 5 in the middle here. I forgot all about that hole. So we do have another Albie shot. I'm going to try this shot. This is the shot that I'm talking about right here. So you got 2 rings of separation. It's almost impossible. You need a 3 side spin ball. I'm doing a 10% wind adjustment, so let me see if I can eke that up to the cup. Where does that put me? That gives me a lot of separation. 2.3. The way the wind's blowing in this tournament, though, I'd have to blow in the sand, so that's 2.6. Getting it perfect. This is the other rough bump that you can do, but I actually think the way that the wind is blowing, we might have to involve that sand. And what it is it looks like it's going to stop up there on the fringe, and when it hits the green, it rolls down to the cup. And you need to be through the hole a little bit. And in order to be through the hole, you have to be closer to the sand, and the wind is blowing from the right to the left. And we probably have to draw over the sand. So unless you had a super low wind ball, you'd probably have to involve that sand, but you could give yourself more separation there so that you could catch it great to the left or the right and still go through. That might be a better way, but with the way the wind's blowing, it might not work. But it is an option, and it might be a safer option. Maybe. Maybe. All right, hole number 15. I forgot all about hole number 15. I was thinking the last 3, and I forgot all about this hole. This is why I always go look, because I forget about a hole, and then I'm already thinking about the par 3. I was thinking about hole number 7, and I was thinking, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I bring, and then I get out on the hole and I go, damn, I brought the wrong stuff. Which isn't a bad deal when you have multiple bags, but I'll tell you, back in the day when the game first happened and you only had 1 bag, you brought the wrong stuff. You were SOL. And you were in big, big trouble. Especially if you landed on one of these par 5s and you really needed certain clubs. All right, here we roll. Da 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 da. Go Dogs. Let's see if we can put it in the right spot. Max, couple side spin. Just trying to get myself out into that zone right there. Take the wind out. It's 3-2. Put just a titch of it back in. Hitting it perfect. Plenty of clearance. Plenty of clearance. That'll put me right at max grizzly. I'm using a 20% wind adjustment. I need to pay attention to the yardages out here because I want to make sure that I'm right at max grizzly where I can use all the backspin. So I may be able to put all that wind back into it instead of just a little. With an extra mile 8, the last time we played these holes, I was putting all the wind back in it and I was doing just very slight overpower. And I was ending up very nicely, like right off the rough. Not super close, but right off of it. Okay, there's my max. I want to be right up against the red line. Right at it. Times 3.9 is 4.7 rings. There's 4, 7. Trying to get it perfect. Getting serious lag. Serious lag. I got serious lag on this hole the last time. It seemed like it was worse. In the hole. All right, I guess serious lag works. Hit a great to the right. I'll be woo. So that's one of the shots that I didn't pick up. I'm doing that. I'm making this. I am definitely not making it easy on myself here. But coming into the weekend round, if I can pick up, it would be 2 albies. If I just shot out eagle, I'd be at minus 29 with 2 albies. And really where I want to be is minus 30 with 2 albies because that will put me, if that doesn't put me in first in tiebreakers, it's going to put me real close. I always like to be, I mean, I really want to be in the top 5, but I really want to be in the top 3, and I really want to be the number 1 tiebreaker, number 1 coming in. That means everybody's got to shoot a higher score. Like if I can go out and just shoot a 30, I mean, it puts pressure on everybody to do the thing. So you've got to fire it off. It's always good to come in better in tiebreakers. I mean, if you come in and you're in the top 20 in tiebreaker, or, you know, if you're 10th to or below, you really have put, you just have to go out and fire off a monster round. I always like to make it so that it's my tournament to win. All right, I'm doing a 60% wind adjustment on this. And the deal that I'm having on this hole is not trajectory. I'm having an issue where I'm putting my ball, and what am I bringing here? Bringing a navigator. Let's make sure I pick a nav. The problem that I'm having here is I'm in a spot where the ball guide is appearing and disappearing, and I'm ending up short. I'm on trajectory. My trajectory is perfect. But the ball guide's lying to me. And if I can catch the right spot where the ball guide's not lying to me, and I tried to pull back a little bit on this last one, but it wasn't enough. I'm going to try coming back just a little teeny bit more because I'd rather go back on the flat than forward on the where the transition is, because it rolls off on the front. And if you catch it wrong on the spot where it rolls off on the front, it'll give you a flat trajectory and throw you right at the cup or right into that sand. And that's the spot right there that's pissing me off. Let me come back a little bit more. See if I can get that sucker dialed up. Hey. All right, I'm running out of time. Times 3.5, 5, 6. It's a massive wind adjustment for Ricky. 5, 6. Hit it one ring great to the left. Had to snap it off. I think I was running out of time. As long as it'll get over there. All right. It's got to be forward. I must have been pushed forward a little bit more so that I was right on the other side of the ridge. You can see where it starts us off is right on the ridge. And I must have pushed it forward. Here's the ridge that I'm talking about. And so I'm pulling it back and I'm trying to get that ball guide to tell me the truth, and it keeps lying to me. So I must have pushed it forward on that spot. And then the ball guide will go right to the cup. And if you hit it perfect, bam, you're in the hole. They're using a power 5 ball. All right. Where's the forfeit? And I can get that power 5 ball. I don't know that I would do it in a tournament, but I'll tell you in one-on-one play, a Playdemic will never, ever do that, because there'd be so many people forfeiting just like, hey, dude, I'll take that ball. I mean, I know you paid for it, but hey, I'll give you the coins in exchange for that ball. That's the shot that I was doing last year, but I was only 3 rings off that transitional surface down there with a Guardian. Max backspin, side spin, curl. And you can get really close to the cup. But if you ever get it to go in, it's just pure luck. But I mean, your birdie chances are about 100%. You can hit it great. You can hit it 2 rings great to the left or the right, and it'll still end up down there. Two more holes. How much time we got on the video? We got all kinds of time. We got 20 minutes. We are good to go. All right, hole number 8. Let me get fresh in my mind. Hole number 8. You've got to hit the drive perfect. Got to hit it perfect. It's not going to do me any good to come into the weekend round with a 28, even if I have 2 Albies. In order to be at the top, I'm going to have to shoot better than that if I want to be in a good tiebreaker situation. So, I mean, a 29 will put me in a pretty good tiebreaker situation with Albies, but obviously a 30 would be better. And a 30 is definitely possible. It's still possible. Is it possible? No, 30 is not possible. The best I can do right now. No, 30 still is possible if I get an Albie on hole number 18. All right, hole number 17. Let me go look at it so I get it in my mind. I know you got to hit this drive perfect. You're in the spot. I'm going to take a Titan, the king of balls, and an extra mile. Titan. Select. Extra mile. I just need to hit this shot perfect. There's no other drive that you hit all day long other than hole number 8 and hole number 17. You've got to hit those drives perfect. And hole number 3, if you're doing the rough bump. The thing about it is if you hit it great to the right, you could still recover because it'll blow through that rough. It usually, if you hit a 1 ring great to the right, will blow through the rough. If you hit a 1 ring great to the left, you may be in a spot of bother. And if you hit a 2 ring great on either side, unless you set it up wrong, you're in big trouble. But typically on the right-hand side, if you don't end up in the sand and you hit that rough, it seems to bleed out of the right-hand side better than the left. They hit it one ring great to the right. That trajectory is, you're going to clip it. They made it. Excellent. Nice shot. Nice shot, man. Bring in a Titan. Yep. Make me pick my ball again. Come on. You can do this all day long. All right. Let's see if we can get this in the hole. What's up, baby? Okay. Taking the wind out. And I'm getting so much lag here, it's crazy. Hey, hold on a second. I got one more hole to shoot. Hold on.
All right. Get on Discord when you're ready.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. On the green, I got lucky with the grate to the right. I left myself enough room there so that I had a little bit. See, at the very beginning of this round, I had people interrupting me and some issues, and right at the very end, I have people interrupting me. My wife comes to the door, and my nephew calls me at the same time. And we worked through adversity, and we still got on the green. And I'm getting lag so bad that I'm lucky I even hit it. And I probably could make that better, but I'm almost done. I'm almost done. All I need to do now is make this putt, hit a perfect drive, and hit a perfect shot into the cup, and I can get Albie. And I could salvage this, even though I did not achieve my goals on these par fours. I could salvage it. I left one on the edge of the cup, and I had a swirl out, a 360 gravity defying miss on a hole in one. And that one is the one they fixed that, and they gotten a lot better, because for a while there they were way too cute. Because there's, it circled the hole 3 times and then pop out. And I did a bunch of research one day, and I shot it. Look at my playlist. I think it's in, you can probably search my channel and find it's on gravity defying ball. Because I did a bunch of stuff. I did some research to make sure that I was thinking correctly and that I was remembering math from school and remembering my physics classes. And here you can see up at the top is minus 30. That's what I'm talking about. So coming in with a minus 30, and they got an Albie. They got 2 Albies. So minus 30 with 2 Albies. Minus 30 with 1. So coming in at minus 30 is what it's going to take to be at the top of a bracket. You have a chance for top. So let's see if I can get it done on this hole. Let's see if we can get another Albie. We can double Albie hole number 9. Come on, there we go. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I am prepared. I'm mentally prepared for that hole. Taking that bag. I'm taking that ball. I'm going to take a Kingmaker. Cut the wind down. Now I'm getting serious lag. And I'm taking off 10% of the wind on the second shot. So I'm doing 0.9 times whatever the wind is. And even though I'm at mid club, I'm using a max number. My teammates are telling me that if they're doing the shot up above where they're actually trying to backspin it up, that they're using a mid number because they're in mid club. And that they've been sinking shots on it. right, let's see if my opponent ends up in the right spot. I'm looking to be between 380 and 390. 385 is perfect. That shot right there, even a little bit farther like that, that's still good distance. I do believe that with the way that the wind's blowing, you can overshoot this, where you'd have to involve that sand up there. And so I'm not interested in doing any real overpower or anything like that. Take out 3.9. That's because I really want to end up in this spot. Isn't it perfect? I want to end up in that spot because I know from that spot, just from playing this hole and working out the wind numbers, I know if I'm in the 385, like counting that as like the perfect drive. 389, so I'm right there in my zone. I know that from here I'm in mid club, but I'm using a max number. If I hit it beyond that point, then I'm starting to hit to the point where I'm eking more towards, I'm on the other side of mid and I'm going towards minimum, and it'll change that deal. So I'm trying to be real cognizant of where I'm landing here because I know that while I'm in mid club, I'm using a max number. You'd have to be pretty far up there to involve the sand, but you could if you were at like the 400 range. If you're playing in pro, you're probably at 410, 420, somewhere in that's your zone. But if you're playing a rookie and you hit up into the 400 range, you're going to start to actually take yourself out of the rough bump. 2.2, it's 2.9 rings. It'll be 3 rings off that transitional surface. Guide it up, and I want to be past the hole. Make sure, yeah, past the hole. 2.9 rings. There's 1, 2, 9. Just trying to hit it perfect. Oh. That's the thing about trying to get past the hole, is I was a little bit farther past the hole that time than I was in the front. And in the front, the speed was perfect. If you're right at the cup, you'll end up short. If you're just a little bit past the cup, you'll end up short. If you're a little bit farther past the cup, you'll blow past it. And so there's a real fine spot down there with that rough bump where you can be in the right spot and the speed will be right. As long as I don't get too much lag here, I should be able to easily get this in the hole. At this distance, I am going right at the cup. And I hit it 7,000 rings great to the left. And still was able to get in because I was that close. All right, minus 29. That's one less than what I wanted. And I screwed up on 2 of the par 4s, and I got robbed on a par 3 and a par 4. I mean, I can't believe I left that on the cup, on the edge of the cup on that par 4. Especially when you run out if you run out your rough iron and run all that topspin out and act like it's a rapier, a lot of times it'll run a little bit faster than what it shows. And so that's why I put it right at the cup. I mean, I put it into the cup, but it was right there. All right, that's one less than what my goal was, and I didn't get to that point the way that I wanted to get to it, but that's where I ended up coming into the weekend round. I think that'll probably be good enough if we talk about bracketing. That'll put me, another bracket's coming in with the same scores here. So that means I'm going to be in the top 5, top 6 in tiebreakers. And with the Albies that are in there, I'm probably going to be in the top 5, like 5th. I could be a little bit higher just depending on the bracket, and I could be a little bit lower depending on bracket, but it's probably going to be a top 5 in tiebreakers. And That's going to be really key, but it's putting me into the point where I'll have to shoot a 31 in order to have any shot at a win, because I'm going to have to beat the people that come out with a 30. And the other bracket, somebody may come out with a 32, and that puts us in a big spot. So I'm definitely going to have to stay on track with what my notes say from the very beginning of the week, that minus 30 plus is my weekend goal. And it's totally achievable. So, totally achievable. And I've got teammates that are shooting scores that are blowing this completely out of the water. I mean, they could beat me every day and twice on Sundays. That's how good of players they are. So it's all about bracket. But the other thing is too, is I, not always, but normally in the weekend round, I try and peak in the weekend round. I'm not one of those players that can pop out a 34, a 35, a 32, a 30. I mean, I'm not one of those players that every single time I get out there, I usually kind of gradually get better and better as the week goes on, because my notes get better and better and better. And I learn how to play these holes and learn those little teeny adjustments. And my goal is to always peak in the weekend round. I want my best score to always be the weekend round score. So I think I'm on track. There you go. That was the Safari Sunrise in the opening round of the rookie division, and ended up with a minus 29. Thanks for watching.